Okay, it's the end of September. We're 9 months into the year already, and I think it's time we had a catch up, and the best way to do this is with a traditional Paddy Doyle Q&A. Thanks to all the questions that you sent through via Patreon and Instagram. So let's get into it. John Ford says, can you share any more information about this book deal? Yes, I can, John. So the reason I couldn't mention it before was because it hadn't been signed, but now the contract's done. I've even been given my advance, which is amazing. I am writing a travel book, a travel guide to Thailand with Moon Travel. Hence why that trip to Europe was my final big international trip of the year, and probably for the next 9 months at least, because I've got to get on my bike and go research for this book. And I thought the best way to do it is to turn it into road trip after road trip series. So I'm gonna head up to Isan, then I'm gonna head down south, and not only does this mean that the channel will be going back to its roots for the next 9 to 12 months, but in the background, whilst I'm making those videos, I'm also saving things, writing things for the book, which will be coming out in just over a year. Fingers crossed I can get it all done whilst making these videos. And so yeah, just stay tuned for more updates on my book with Moon Travel coming out later next year, hopefully. Patricia asks me, Paddy, what's the deal about your channel name? I saw on Patreon you were thinking about changing it. So yeah, when I was in Vietnam, I had a bit of a crisis. I wanted to have a fresh start with the channel, and I thought about changing the channel name. But when I posted about this on Patreon, which is completely free to join, by the way, you can get all your videos early and join the community there. We're nearly at 500 members. So basically I just said, hey guys, I'm thinking about changing the channel name. What do you think of these options? And the feedback was really useful, because it basically told me that my idea of changing the name only slightly wasn't really a good idea. People were confused by it, and the last thing you want to do on YouTube is confuse your audience, especially your core audience. And I just thought with a slight name change I could communicate this better. But in the end, Paddy Doyle is just fine. And if you look at my channel artwork now, it's been changed to communicate the 3 core values of the channel going forward. Sawadee krap. Lazada krap. โอเคขอบคุณมากครับ Tower Hawk ครับ ขอบคุณครับ That's my new SD drive coming in, because this one is full. Paul T asks me, is there anything you're working on in the background that nobody knows about? Well, actually, yes, there is. Again, I can't go into too much detail because it hasn't even been built yet, but I am in the process of building an app. And it came out of something that I said on a previous live stream. Basically, I said, wouldn't it be great if you could reach out to other content creators and ask them questions? But the problem with that is, you know, content creators or experts in their field, it doesn't have to be a YouTuber, it can be, you know, just someone who's really good at something, that are on social media. Chances are, if they're really successful and they're really good at something, they'll have a huge following. And so trying to reach someone is really hard. Emails get lost or deleted, and DMs just get lost in the labyrinth of, you know, social media. In fact, most big content creators don't even share their email or allow DMs because it's just too much. But if there was a place that you could just say, hey, Paddy, and you ask me the question, and I'm the content creator on the other side of this app, and I say, oh, Julia from Manchester has got this really nice question, and it's a voice note, and I can listen to it. I don't have to join a silly Zoom call or anything. I can just listen to her voice messages, maybe see some pictures, see her itinerary, like a DM, right? And then I can respond with video or voice message and just instantly help them whilst I'm, you know, not having to sit down and be on a meeting. And I think it will free up people's time, and it will be able to connect people. And so this app was born out of that idea that I want to reach out to other people. Some people would like to reach out to me. So yeah, basically that's the idea in a nutshell, and we're developing it. And as soon as I have an app ready for you guys to download and to test out in beta, I'll let you know. Beverly on Patreon asks a lot of questions, but my favorite one is, what are you most grateful for right now? And I think it is the ability to slow down and make more conscious, strategic decisions. And that comes from 3-4 years full-time headless chicken, just going crazy, creating content, traveling the world mindset. And now we're coming up to the end of year 4 of the channel and of the business. I'm able to slow down a little bit and concentrate on things. And I just read a quote today that I follow someone who's a football player, and he posted something like, remember your everyday life is someone else's dream, so be thankful for what you have. And so that really resonated with me because, you know, when I was doing the TMB and I was hiking from hut to hut, there were people there who, you know, they'd been saving up for it and it was a big thing and it was like a huge milestone in their life. And for me, it was just a Tuesday. I was out there filming a series that would come out and, you know, it would go on the channel and then it would be on to the next one. And so sometimes I need to stop myself, especially in these beautiful situations, whether I'm on Zelda in the provinces of Thailand or whether I'm hiking in somewhere beautiful in the world. Sometimes I just need to remember that this is an incredible, you know, situation to be able to travel and share my adventures and post them onto YouTube, because I'll look back on this part of my life in the future as like, do you remember when I was this like travel YouTuber guy and I had 300,000 subscribers and everyone was watching on a Saturday, me hiking in the mountains or driving on my motorbike around Thailand? Like, I don't think it will last forever, but at the minute, you know, I'm just very thankful for that. So thank you for the questions, Beverly. Adrian on Patreon says, do you ever miss teaching? Yes and no. I miss the classroom, I miss the structure, I miss the schedule in terms of like, you know, I know where I'm going to be every day. But at the same time, you know, I wouldn't trade what I have now to go back and to have a boss again, have a head of year and have parents and stressful things to worry about. I don't know if I could I even be a member of staff again? I think I would be terrible. Camilla says, when's the wedding? We're getting married on March 7th, so it's coming around quite soon. Howard Whitman says, what type of honeymoon are you looking at with Miss P? We are thinking about Koh Samet because we're getting married in Bangkok and we just think it would be great to then go straight to Koh Samet. Actually, we're planning to go with a few friends and family as well. And the idea is that we'll just invite people who are coming to the wedding and say, if you're interested, we're gonna go to Koh Samet. We can all jump in a minivan and go down there, and within 2 hours, we're gonna be on the ferry going over to the island. And so our honeymoon can turn into an after party. It can turn into a friends and family reunion, because if people are flying all the way to Thailand, we don't just want them to come to a wedding and then say hello and say goodbye. It would be nice to carry that on for 3 more days in paradise, and Koh Samet is just like the perfect location. Kayan Mart said, can we hire you for a private tour of Thailand? No, sorry, I'm too busy. I'd love to be a tour guide and show you around like I did with my family in Phuket and in the south, because obviously I know my way around here, but I'm just too busy with writing this book and making a video every week. It's a full-time gig, and I'm sorry, I just don't have the time. I'd love to help you out though, but if you could figure out a way to clone me and then just I could send 100 of me out there as tour guides, that would be great, but that's never gonna happen, unfortunately. Atlas Antics, they asked me a few questions. Let's go through some of them. How long does it take to edit a YouTube video? Well, it depends. Sometimes it takes 3 hours, sometimes it takes 3 days. It just depends on how much footage I had and what sort of level of energy I need to put into this edit. Is it a big documentary that has a lot of nuances and lots of voiceovers and connecting the dots, and do I have to be really careful about, you know, how does the story come together, etc, etc. That will be a multiple day edit. And if it's a video of me just, you know, going to the other side of Bangkok to hang out with Gary to eat some street food, I can edit that in a couple of hours. They also asked me, what's the best small village in Thailand? I like this question because that opens up the whole country, right? And I think a few pop to mind. I really like some up north. I really like Mae Hong Song, Ban Rak Thai up there. There's a few really nice villages. And I like northern Chiang Rai as well. There's some really nice villages up in the mountains near the caves and near the border of Laos. I also really liked Bay Tong. It's a small town really, right on the border of Malaysia. I'm gonna go back there soon, hopefully. That was a real cool place. And I really like Lamphun and Lampang in northern Thailand. I think most of the scenic villages in Nan, Chiang Rai, Mae Hong Son, Chiang Mai, the northern provinces, they're the places where you get the most scenic, the most atmospheric, cultural little villages in Thailand for sure. Mickey P says, what are 3 apps you can't live without on the road? Well, the first one would be Google Maps, because without it, I wouldn't be able to find my way around. Also, I use it to actually navigate and look for inspiration of where to go. So for example, I literally have just got the brand new DJI drone. It's actually on the table over there. It looks beautiful. And so on my way north, I'm leaving next week to go on a big trip. On my way up, I was thinking, well, I want to make a video about my new drone, testing it, showing people what it's like, because, you know, it's a beautiful piece of equipment and not a lot of people can kind of get information about it, because all of the videos you see are sponsored, and I think it would be quite good to give my opinion on the drone. And so I was like, where could I fly it? So Google Maps. I just started looking like, okay, I'm going in this general direction, and I started looking for on terrain mode where looks interesting visually. And so I'm going to be stopping in what's it called, Lopburi on the way up north. I'm going to pull over there, have a night or 2, and I've seen some amazing locations to fly the drone, and that was all because of Google Maps. So not only does it help me get around Thailand and the world, but it also enables me to go, wow, that looks interesting geographically. Then you zoom in a bit more and you start finding places to stay, you start finding lookouts, trekking, hiking, national parks, anything visual on the map. You zoom in and you can start to find interesting places. In fact, that's where I find almost all of the places that I go. The other one is Google Translate, especially in Thailand. And there's a few questions here like, how's your Thai? My Thai is still very basic. I'm learning, you know, a few words and phrases a week, but it's still, you know, it's not fluent. So Google Translate helps me in a pinch. And so Google Maps, Google Translate, and obviously NordVPN, I use that app religiously when I'm on the road. As you can imagine, you know, with censorship and, you know, trying to stay safe using public Wi-Fi, NordVPN is a huge one. In fact, they are one of my sponsors and they've got a great deal for you. If you click the link below, NordVPN/Paddy Doyle, any purchase of a 2-year plan, you'll actually get 4 bonus months on top. That's NordVPN/Paddy Doyle. This is a YouTube exclusive deal, by the way. So if you click the link in the description, yeah, you'll be able to unlock this fantastic option. And NordVPN for me is like the best app to have on your phone, because yeah, with everything that's going on with censorship and not being able to access certain websites on the news channels and, you know, entertainment, and there's no like buffering, and it's not like a stressful thing to worry about like, oh, is this going to slow down my connection? It's seamless. It's been optimized now for a long time. NordVPN is a fantastic app when you travel. It doesn't matter if I'm in a cafe, in my hotel, or at the airport. NordVPN keeps me safe by encrypting my internet traffic and hiding my IP address. Obviously NordVPN are sponsoring this section of the video, but with Google Maps and Google Translate, NordVPN is also the other travel app that I really use a lot. And yeah, I hope that answers your question, and go check out the link below and get that exclusive deal right now. No Fixed Abode says, we have watched all of your videos and we can't wait to make the big move to Bangkok. Where would you recommend us living? You know, me and Miss P, we're looking to actually move, and we're looking to buy somewhere as well. And 2 of the places that we looked at are Phom Prong, which is actually where I live already. It's a fantastic, clean, safe neighborhood with lots of shopping, gyms, parks, food, restaurants. It's got everything, but it is a bit expensive. So if you wanted to go somewhere a bit cheaper but also quite nice, check out Ekamai, check out Thong Lo. Obviously the dream would be Lang Suan in Chitlom, which is like the Mayfair, the Park Lane of Bangkok. The houses there are just beautiful, the neighborhood's incredible, but it's, you know, it's very rich. If you're a millionaire and you've got money to spend, check out Lang Suan. But if you're just an ordinary human being, then Phom Prong and Ekamai look really nice. And if you're looking for a budget place to live, that's still really, really nice. Head out towards On Nut, head out towards the other side of Bangkok, away from Sukhumvit, maybe on the Thonburi side of the city, if you want something a bit more rustic and a bit more authentic to the local Thai side of Bangkok. Askin says, what's the good and bad side of solo travel? Well, it's pretty simple really. The good is being able to get up and go wherever you want, but it also comes with loneliness. So loneliness for me normally tends to lead to drinking beers, because if it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock and I've finished filming all day, and I've felt like I've explored, I felt like I've had an adventure and I climbed a mountain, and then I get a bit bored and I end up drinking a few beers. So I'm looking to hopefully cut that part of my life out. Just I had 6 weeks no drinking, 6 weeks at the gym here in Bangkok, and obviously I did the TMB. So I think I've kind of shaken that habit. So hopefully when I get back on Zelda next week and I start this big long road trip, I will enjoy a beer from time to time. Like, don't get me wrong, if I'm sitting at the Mekong and I'm watching the sunset on my own and I'm feeling a bit lonely, I'm not gonna just order a soda water. I'm gonna fully immerse myself in that moment. A sunset on the Mekong after a big day, let's have a cold beer. My issue is, every night, without fail, 2 big bottles of Leo from 7-Eleven, a packet of crisps, a Snickers bar, and a movie watching on Netflix or something, right? And that's where I just stuff my face with junk and beer and shite, and that's where it all kind of goes wrong, and that comes from loneliness. So definitely loneliness is the hardest thing about traveling solo. Sean Collins says, I'm going to Hoi An next week. Where do I find Madame Can's Banh Mi? Well, just Google map it. I'll link it in the description for you because, yeah. And also, I'll link another Banh Mi that not a lot of people know about in Hoi An, which is better than Madame Mi, Banh Mi. Hislop says, what's the one thing that you would change about living in Bangkok other than the traffic, the noise? So obviously I think they come hand in hand, but when those noisy motorbikes vroom underneath the BTS, it's so loud and it's so annoying. SG Travel said, where did you book your TMB hike? I booked it with Adventure Base and they really liked my video, and so they've actually decided to work with me and give anyone who books with the link in my videos, I'll link it in the description below, but you'll also unlock a few extra discounts because they just thought, you know, the video came out great and they were happy with it. I mean, it wasn't a sponsored thing. They didn't pay me. They didn't give me the hike for free. I was a paying customer. But when they saw the videos, they were like, well, let's give Paddy something for his audience. So if you click the link in any of the videos, again, I'll put it in the description, you'll actually get a few discounts and a few promotions and like little extras for clicking through my link, and I can't recommend Adventure Base enough. I love your hiking videos. Do you have any plans to hike Thailand's 3rd highest mountain, aka Chiang Dao? My favorite, yes, but there is a very short space of time during the year where you can book to hike Chiang Dao, and it's in a couple of weeks. It's at the end of October, and there is a link. I'll put it in the description of this video. You have to kind of be there and get ready, and it's all in Thai, it's quite complicated. But in about 2 or 3 weeks, there will be 3 or 4 days where you can book to get onto a hike, and it's very limited. It's very protected, this mountain. Max Furman says, any Southeast Asian countries you feel you haven't quite explored enough and plan to visit again soon? I would say Myanmar. I went there like 6 or 7 years ago and had a fantastic time. The best people, the best food, some of the best landscapes. But obviously with what happened and what's continuing to happen politically, and there's a lot of unrest and it's all very unknown, and you know, if I was a real adventurous soul, I would go over there regardless and just film. But I don't also want to go over there making videos like, you know, foreigner in dangerous war-torn Myanmar. You know, I don't want to go down that route. I think that's distasteful. Myanmar and the Burmese people it's a beautiful country, they are beautiful people, and I had such a great time there, but I just have to wait until it's politically more stable and safe. And when that happens, I'll go back over there. Or Malaysia as well. You know, I haven't even done a Malaysian series other than Borneo, Kota Kinabalu. Maybe later this year, or probably late next year, because I'm busy writing this book and traveling Thailand. And obviously Myanmar has such a special place in my heart. I'll link my video that I made on the Budgeteers about my trip to Myanmar in the description so you can go see for yourself how beautiful it was. Mick Green says, how did you manage 9 nights on the Mount Blanc hike with just a moderately sized rucksack? You'd be surprised, mate. I packed too much. You literally wear the same t-shirt when you hike every day. You wear the same clothes that are clean and dry every evening when you're in the refugios. All you need is one hiking outfit and one hanging out at the refugio outfit, and that is it. Matt Limmer says, any chance of reuniting with all 3 of the Budgeteers? I don't think so. Me and Ty's, we're still mates. He's coming to my wedding, hopefully, fingers crossed. But Lena's not responded to me for years. I don't know what she's doing. Lena, if you're watching this, I love you. Please respond to me. Let me know you're alive. That would be nice. Sydney George says, how did you find quitting alcohol? I think I heard you mention it. Yeah, I've just quit for 6 weeks. No beers, no booze. It was hard when I was flying business class to Europe because it was free champagne and I said no. But I don't miss drinking beers, to be honest. It's weird. When you stop drinking it, you realize life just is the same. Like when I go to the pub now to watch the football, I just have a soda water or a Heineken Zero. And I still feel like I'm in the pub, and I still feel like I'm having a beer, but without the alcohol hangovers and without the cravings to snack and eat shite all night. There's a time and a place to have a beer and to have an alcoholic beverage. The problem is, my mindset is every day is the perfect time. And that's where it all goes wrong. Alexander the Wanderer says, what resolution do you usually film in and what software do you use to edit? Technical question, but I shoot in 4K and on my drone I shoot in 60 frames a second so I can slow it down if I need to. But on my Sony I shoot 24 and I shoot on, I edit on Premiere Pro. There's a name here I can't pronounce, I'm sorry, but it says, thoughts on the DJI Mini 5 Pro and the fact that it's over 250 grams. Basically, technical question, but in some countries, if it's over 250 grams, you can't fly without special licenses. But here in Thailand, you need these insurances, you need this license, you need this paperwork regardless. So it doesn't matter if it's 250 grams or 260 grams, you still need insurance and paperwork and registration here in Thailand. Luckily, when I bought my new DJI 5 Mini Pro, the shop DJI where I bought it did all of the paperwork for me. And if you're worried, like, how do I do this, whatever, just speak to DJI here in Thailand and they'll figure it out for you, or go to Google or ChatGPT, okay? I'm not a drone expert. I just went to the shop, got all the paperwork sorted, and it's all with me. And if anyone ever asks me, I've got it all sorted now, which is great, because at first it's a bit of a worrying issue flying a drone in Thailand, because they banned drones for about 3 weeks during the war, but now they've lifted it. You can't fly in certain areas, especially on the border of Cambodia, but apart from that, it's all pretty easy. The Walls Travel says, what other travel content creators are you enjoying watching right now? I can't remember the name of this channel, hang on. I've got my YouTube here. Rocky and Kimball, that's it, right? Yeah, Rocky and Kimball. Gay couple and husbands of 27 years leaving corporate life and starting a new life in Bangkok. They're documenting moving to Bangkok from the UK, I think. Anyway, it randomly popped up on my feed like a month ago, and me and Miss P watched one of their videos. I was like, oh, what's this? And we put it on, watching the telly, eating our dinner. And we were hooked, we were laughing, it was just funny. They've only got 8,000 subscribers, but I think 2 weeks ago they had 3,000, so they're obviously growing quickly. And yeah, they're funny, so go check them out. Obviously, Rocky and Kimball, if you're watching. If you see me in Bangkok, make sure to say hello, because I would love to go for a coffee with you guys. You guys are hilarious and your videos are brilliant. And I'm loving watching you document your journey moving to Bangkok. It's brilliant. N Gallup says, what's one thing that you miss the most about the UK, not including your friends and family? I would say I miss daytime TV, you know, just hanging out at my mum's house, watching Tipping Point, watching The Chase, you know, all the daytime like quiz shows. I just think they're brilliant. Also, being able to go to the pub at a reasonable hour to watch the football on the telly. Like here, I have to like watch it in bed because it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Whereas in the UK, it's Super Sunday, it's 4 o'clock, you have a few pints of Guinness with the lads, and you can get home at 7 o'clock and still have your dinner and go to bed at a reasonable hour. Melissa Singer says, other than Thailand, what's your favorite country? I would say probably Italy or Vietnam or New Zealand. D Jones says, when are you going to have kids? You're not getting any younger. One thing at a time, okay? One thing at a time. There are so many questions here that you could literally have just asked Google and got the question answered for you. So let me just try and find one more interesting question from my followers that you guys might go, oh, that's interesting. Wandering Fox says, how are you holding up and what are your long-term plans? So I'm feeling really good, really good. I felt a little bit sluggish 6 weeks ago. I felt a little bit stale. after my trip to Vietnam, I kind of had a reset and I set myself a 6-week goal of no drinking, going to the gym and closing my steps and going intermittent fasting. The results have been great. I feel stronger, fitter, leaner. I've lost 5.5 kilograms in body fat, which is great. I'm toned up a little bit and I'm just raring to get back on the bike and get into the provinces. And my long-term goal is just to literally, guys, just roll day by day and just continue to focus on what I'm enjoying the most, which is making content on YouTube and sharing it with you guys, going to the most interesting, going to the most beautiful places possible, and also balancing that with living in Bangkok. Obviously, I would love to just be on the road non-stop like I used to, province to province, country to country, video after video, 3 times a week. That's really good for business. That was when I was making over $10,000 a month just in AdSense. But now that I'm a bit older and a bit more wiser, it's better just to work smart than work hard. And so, you know, I have a fiance, I have a wedding, I'm getting married, we're looking to buy a house, I'm trying to be an adult, I'm trying to mature, I'm trying to make decisions for the long term. But at the same time, I'm Paddy Doyle and I've got my motorbike in the world and I want to go traveling, and I take you guys along for these adventures to show you some of the most amazing places on the planet. So trying to balance those two is my one and only goal, because without balance, one always falls apart. If I just concentrated too much on my personal life, then the channel would die. If I concentrated all my energy and effort onto my channel, my relationships would die. So just trying to juggle and learn how to juggle is the hardest thing, and the thing that I'm learning and trying to get better at. I've got a new idea about how to do that, which I'm going to implement going forward. And so basically I'm just looking to do 2 weeks on the bike, 2 weeks in the provinces, and then no matter what, jumping on a quick flight back to Bangkok, or jumping on the train or jumping on the bus, and having a 2-week time at home, back in the gym, back in the diet, back on the routine, back in like hanging out with Miss P, watching crap on the telly, doing the things we love, and then getting back on the bike and doing the thing. I just can't be one of those people that goes willy-nilly, full speed ahead, travel around the world. There are so many YouTubers out there who are younger, more at it, more, you know, they're chasing their dreams and all this, and they're just working their socks off creating great content all around the world. And you know, if I had started my YouTube channel in my early 20s, then I would be in that moment as well. But you know, I'm nearly 40. So all I'm trying to do is find that balance, and I'm getting better at it, but still not perfect. But thank you again to NordVPN and you guys for watching at home. Next time you see me, we are going to be back on the road, back on Zelda, and we won't stop for at least 9 months. Big time excited. Loads of adventures in Thailand coming. Great, proper, next level Paddy Doyle gold content coming soon. Can't wait to share it. Can't wait to fly my new drone. And I'll see you there next Saturday.